Welcome to Bill Faeth Unfiltered, where we give you actionable episodes without the bullshit. Here is your host, Bill Faeth.
Hey, welcome back to Bill Faeth Unfiltered. I'm excited for today because this is going to be my first guest in a series of agents that I'm going to be interviewing in markets that you and I have been investing into or maybe looking to invest into. And this is someone that I've actually done deals with. It's a market that you're probably very familiar with. I've been invested down there since 2015, so a decade. And my last two deals that I've done, that I purchased and also sold, I have used this agent who is absolutely amazing. I'm going to bring him up. Jonathan Lazzarino. How are you, John?
I'm doing well, Bill. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Well, you've made me some money down there, and I'm very appreciative. I mean, you're just a damn good guy, too. Probably too nice, sometimes. But, me and you have done a couple of deals down in Gulf Shores. You service Fort Morgan, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach. You're an owner down there as well as just being an agent. You work for Avery at the short-term shop. Everybody's got to love some Avery Carl, right? And you guys have taken such great care of me. I wanted to start with you as I'm going to go through probably 5 or 10 markets on my podcast series as we get ready to go into the summer. And you and I see this so I know I'm on social media more than you are, but man, you can't invest in that market anymore, or this is where we should be going. And kind of everybody follows the herd. What's your take on Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, the Alabama coast right now?
Right. So, and that's I'm glad you brought that up because it's a much more difficult market than it used to be when the rates were, obviously at 3%. It was tougher to get one under contract because you had a lot of competition. But even if you kind of overpaid for something or set the new market with those low interest rates, it was much easier to cash flow. And you combine that with the fact that there weren't as many like insurance assessments on condos and things like that. It really does make it a much more difficult terrain in general to invest in this market. But at the same time, because of that, you are seeing more negotiability and there are some opportunities to be had with good negotiation. It's just not as many at face value that you can just throw a dart like you could back then and say, hey, this is going to cash flow. It's much more, you have to be much more diligent on your purchase. And, there's a lot of times where we get under contract with a condo and find out, especially condos, and find out there's more assessments coming up and things like that that can really hurt the cash flow. But on the flip side of that, the clients that I've been, I have a lot of repeat clients that keep buying in this market. I had one that closed 2 with me this year and continues to thrive and cash flow well. So the people who have been in this market and kind of know what their niche is and how to hit good numbers, they're still buying. So there are good opportunities to be had. It's just, you have to negotiate a little bit more.
Right. So let's just say, John, I've got $175,000 in cash. Don't really care where I go. Orange Beach, Fort Morgan, Gulf Shores. Where's the best investment? Where would you drive me to?
If you're going into the Fort Morgan area, which that would be a good down payment for, for a house in Fort Morgan, or, those are, you usually find better deals on houses in Fort Morgan. And then condos, I would recommend to go Gulf Shores or Orange Beach. And the reason being is that Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan has some good condos too, like the Beach Club and a few others, but they're not pet friendly for guests, which is kind of the missed.
Isn't that crazy? Because that's the only pet friendly beach in Alabama.
It's crazy. Like there's a missed opportunity there because if the condos are pet friendly in Fort Morgan, they would be gangbusters with rentals, but they're not. They restrict pets in some cases for owners and guests, and it is a missed opportunity with the condos there. But pet friendly houses can crush it. Now I keep saying pet friendly in Fort Morgan because the beaches are pet friendly. But if you're going for a condo, which depending on price point, which, if you have a, $200,000 down payment, then, you have pretty good options here.
So I'm going to give you my 175. I'm your brother. I don't care where I go. Where are you taking me?
Okay. So I would probably be going for 175. So I would probably first look for a house in Fort Morgan to see, because there are just so many deals to be had there. If I couldn't find that, I would probably be going for, a nice Gulfront condo in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach. And there's so many different options that I could, rattle off that I would go for, but it really just depends on the deal to be had with any given condo in a good complex. So what I would do is pick out about 5 or 6 complexes that have low assessments that are well run HOAs, and if they have a lot of listings in there, see who's willing to wheel and deal a little bit and try to get the best deal out of those condos, because that's just kind of the market we're in now. So that's probably what I would do. I still like houses, but myself, I'm going to be trying to get a condo before the end of the year. Now, if a good house opportunity comes up, I'm not going to pass that up. But I'll be looking towards the end of the year too, and I'm pretty much set on a condo, likely in Orange Beach. But it really is all about the deal to me.
Let's talk about the airport, because a lot of people don't know, even to this day, which baffles me because they don't do deep enough research, right? I've known about the airport for almost 5 years, since the beginning of COVID. And, during COVID, I switched all of my assets. I sold my last one with you this last summer to Chuck, but everything out of Fort Morgan and into West Beach and East Beach, just because it's closer to the airport. And really, this is the first year that flights are starting to come in on a commercial level this summer. Very limited, but I believe what happened at Fort Walton, what happened at PCB years ago, is 3 to 4 or 5 years away in Gulf Shores. Now, are we going to get Southwest Airlines there because they're already in Pensacola and Mobile? Most likely not. But I see the Allegiants, the Frontiers, those low-cost airlines potentially coming into Gulf Shores. Do you see people on a local level that know about this? Because I think most non-super savvy, like those top 1 or 2% investors, don't understand what's happening, and they probably haven't been in it long enough to know what the airports did to PCB, 30A, and Destin. What's your take on the airport today?
Well, I'd agree with that completely. We have been waiting on that a long time, and I think May 20 something, 21st or something like that, it's happening.
It's like the first flight, right?
That's right, for Allegiant. That's right. That's from Houston, from the Smokies, a few other big markets like that. So I'm really pumped, and I think you're right that over the next few years, we're going to start seeing, a big increase in tourism here. Now, the local government is also working on the infrastructure for, they are anticipating an increase in tourism. So that could tell you something right there. They're building bridges because 59, coming from Foley, that gets really packed there already with the amount of tourism.
That's brutal on a Saturday during the summer.
Brutal. And living in Orange Beach now gets crazy packed too. I mean, you can ride golf carts and bikes as a local, but you can't get everywhere on those. But but they're building bypasses to bring the traffic flow directly to the beach, to bypass canal. They're building a pedestrian bridge, all kinds of cool things they have going on for the infrastructure as well. They're building more bike paths, connecting those to it's going to be a double whammy where they help people get off the road more and make it cool by being able to bike everywhere, golf cart paths too. So the local government is anticipating an increase in tourism, and that part of that is due to the airport. So I do think you're right about that.
So are you pushing people to East Beach and West Beach because it's closer to the airport?
Well, it's not necessarily. I think there's some great opportunities to be had there, and I do think we'll see an increase in rental revenue over time. But really, to me, it's all about the deal. Typically, you're going to see lower prices in Fort Morgan, and I even personally think that Fort Morgan is going to feel some of that, from the airport, because right now, if you fly into Pensacola, it's going to take you 2 hours to get to Fort Morgan. If you fly into Jack Edwards,
unless you drive like me, I can do it in 90 minutes.
Right. That's right. That's right. But yeah,
no, but you're right. And I think that that airport could add 30%, maybe even 40% to rental income over the next 24 to 36 months. I don't think we're going to see any increase in 2025 this summer, but I think going into next year is when we will start to see that effect. Do you agree with that?
I think so. I do believe so. I'm excited to see what happens for sure.
I'm excited to see what Shaul does, because I think one of the big things for like where I live in Nashville, Atlanta, Chattanooga, these are hubs, for people to drive down into that market. But I mean, I've owned there for a decade, but we vacation in Seaside and 30A because of like the food and the entertainment's different, a different level. Gulf Shores is still the redneck Riviera. Right. So I'm interested, you obviously know who Shaul is. If you guys aren't down there, he owns everything,
right.
From the surfing styles to the hangout to whatever. So I'm interested to see if we can catch up with some better dining options, some improved restaurants, a little bit maybe higher end amenities, because it just hasn't happened down there. And I think that has been a negative to that market, for people that are trying to build these super properties down there. Are you seeing anything different? I mean, holy shit, Jonathan, I'm going to lose 50 to $60,000 in revenue this year. You know what property I'm talking about, Dragonfly, right? There's a monstrosity of an 8-bedroom that's gone up in front of me. So you remember those 4 lots that were open in front of my house, which made that the number one, tier 2 in the entire market. I've lost that now. So I lose that uniqueness. I lose that marketability. Are you seeing anything? You can still get some of that in Fort Morgan, but that doesn't exist in West Beach and maybe on the far east side of East Beach as new construction goes in. But can you see some of those tier 2s being the plays out in the Fort Morgan area today?
Absolutely, and I do. There is some stuff coming on that side too. I mean, this isn't necessarily in East Beach or West Beach, but they're doing the Waterway District where it's a pedestrian bridge and they're making this cool walkable. They're calling it the second shore or something like that, where they're building there's like a Margaritaville, all this kind of really cool stuff that's coming to that area, which is going to be a
And that's
whole.
on the east side of East Beach, right?
That's right. We're kind of north, a little bit north of that. But that's right. So I'm really pumped about that too. But there are a lot of commercial developments coming down the pipeline that I think are just going to add to the area. Coastal is, I guess about 2 years old now, but that's a pretty cool place. It was developed like you said, you can Seaside there. I haven't been there too much, but I think there's a little more Gulf side entertainment. But the coastal and a few things like that bring more to the beach mixed with commercial development. And I'm interested to see because they're building, like I said, the bike paths down Fort Morgan. And there is, even in Fort Morgan, I'm not trying to keep harping on Fort Morgan because there's great opportunities in all these areas, but there's a lot of commercial zoned land on the north side of Fort Morgan that's not being really utilized. So something may happen there too. I'm not sure, but I think there's great opportunity for growth there too.
Tell me about the Fort Morgan bypass because I don't know anything about that, and I'm sure most people listening do not as well.
Oh, okay. So our RV park is in Fort Morgan. It's going to be directly affected by this. So I'm really pumped. But they're running a bike path down Fort Morgan all the way to the pier to where it's going to connect to the Gulf State Park, which the Gulf State Park, by the way, isn't talked about a lot, but it's, I think, 3 years in a row on some, it got voted on something that best state park in the country. Is beautiful. You can see gators. We love riding e-bikes and stuff. You can go to the beach and a few restaurants. But anyway, the bike path is going to connect Fort Morgan from the pier to the state park that's in between Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. So it's going to make it very bikeable. And the grand vision is to be able to connect everything from Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Fort Morgan to where you can bike pretty much everywhere here, which I think is pretty awesome.
So they're planning on coming past the Walmart from the park over to, down 180, right, to connect that with bike paths and stuff. Are they going to expand 180?
That I don't think they're not expanding 180 from my knowledge, but there's like a whole path that they're already working on right now that's kind of off to the side of 180, parallel to it. So yeah, they've actually already started on it and are making some progress right now.
That's crazy. I can't wait to see that. I'm going to be down there in a few weeks, and I haven't been
Oh,
down there for over a year, Jonathan.
oh
I
man,
may have to call you and see if there's any deals down there while I'm down there.
for sure. Give me a call.
Awesome. So what else is new going on down there? What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the market?
Well, I mean, to me, it's just a good time because of the uncertainty. I mean, it's not just this market, but it just, on a national scale, there's just so many sweeping economic changes going on that I think it's a good time to capitalize on that uncertainty and try to negotiate with sellers. So those are really the deals that I'm seeing right now. We are getting buyers under contract. I have a lot of listings that are now getting under contract. So, the market's still moving, but really my clients that are actually trying and attempting offers that they think are low are the ones that are coming out ahead right now. A lot of people are just kind of hesitant. They're like, oh, it's too low. And I'm like, hey, what are they going to say? No, is that going to hurt your feelings? And we submit it and sometimes come out with a really good deal.
I see, pickleball courts in a lot of places around the country have been a fad that people have been putting in, right? I almost put one in down there. I didn't. But I'm hearing a lot of people that are now, they almost feel like they have to have the raised pool up to the first level, like if we're on stilts or pilings to where it's raised up, right? And have it decked in as opposed to in ground. Are you seeing Because that's an extra, $30 to $40,000 investment. Are you seeing that being done well, and is that worth the investment right now of that extra 30, 40,000 bucks?
I've seen some numbers that indicate yes, and some that indicate no. I've seen there's not that many properties with pickleballs. They put it in a lot of condo complexes. They'll take the tennis courts and then add like a pickleball court option there too. And I haven't played pickleball. I should. My wife is big into tennis, and she forbids me from playing pickleball for some reason. But uh, but I've heard it's
It's
very
like snowboarders and skiers, man. It's the pickleballers against the tennisers, right?
right, exactly. She always when I'm like, "Hey, babe, let's play pickleball." She's like, "Nope." But anyway, so I heard it's very noisy though, so I don't know if that's a factor. In certain HOAs, they would probably frown on that if you're trying to put it in if there's an HOA. But I don't know enough about the actual noise levels of the pickleball. The only ones I've seen them done are on these properties like in West Lagoon, West Beach, that have these large lots. And in my opinion, always put in a pool first, a heated pool. That's by far your best. Like you've already mentioned this before, and but a pool with a heater is the best amenity you can add here for numbers, and you're going to
And do a gas heater, not an electric
and a
heater.
gas heater, not electric. Because I've had clients that have had electric heaters. That's you're kind of priming yourself for a bad review there. um,
Right.
but they,
And what about the raised pools, Jonathan, up to that first level as opposed to putting them in ground? Are you seeing any value add to that? Because those are about 30, 40,000 bucks to deck them in, raise them up to where you can just walk out that first level, the kitchen, the bedroom, and be right in the pool.
So I love the raised beach pools for the Gulf side for Gulf side houses, especially when you can kind of get a view of the Gulf. I think that's very marketable. I haven't done like an analysis to see if it's better than in ground, but typically you have to do raised for those anyway. But the in ground pools, to me, if like you have in certain in ground pools in like second tier houses with big lots, I think those are great. I mean, I think those do just as well as the raised deck ones. But if you can get a view while you're in the pool and you can market that, I think that's always a big plus for sure.
That's awesome stuff. Jonathan, I really appreciate you being here. How do people get a hold of you?
You can just contact me on the shorttermshop.com. All my contact information's there, or you can email me at Jonathan, Jonathan, at the shorttermshop.com. And I'm happy to help with any questions or anything I can do.
Or you can hit me up and I'll give you Jonathan's contact information. He's the best down there. Jonathan, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking such great care of me down in Gulf Shores. You're amazing. I can't wait to do our next deal. And folks, thumbs up for Gulf Shores. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, still the entry cost is 30, 40% less than Destin. It's 50, 60% less than Seaside and Rosemary and those areas. And you can still see very, very similar rental returns. And the one thing, Jonathan, that beach, that sand, it's never going to go down in value.
That's right. We got some of our sand's just as wide over here. That's for sure.
Exactly. Awesome. Thanks for joining me, Jonathan. And thank you guys for joining me on Bill Faeth Unfiltered. I'll see you guys on the next episode.